ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day, where our recitation continues from Rag Sorat, Bani of Kabir Ji. And the Rahau is the starter here. Kabir Ji says, Santahu man Pavanai Sukh Bania, Kich jog parapat ganaya Rahau. Santahu man Pavanai Sukh Bania. Santo here, addressing the seekers, is defining the essence of union. When the mind, which wavers like the wind, settles, man Pavanai, then peace arises, Sukh Bania. Kish jog parapat ganaya. Ganaya is to be counted. Then one can be counted as having gained a measure of union. So the essence of union, jog, or yoga as people call it, lies in the stilling of the mind. Now this is a far cry from the emphasis on posture and breathing and so on. And this settling of the mind is not a brief mood. It is a settled state. Bania. It becomes that way. So what he's talking about is attention and breath harmonizing, being centered. When that happens, the nervous system calms down and the body is at ease. And your consciousness then becomes serviceable for Nam Simran. That is to say, the mind is no longer reactive, but proactive. So yoga is a state of mind that is spontaneous, not forced. How did this happen? Guru dikhalai mori. The Guru revealed the secret opening, aperture, mori, a hole. Jit mirg padat hai chori, through which the mind, like a skittish deer, can sneak in, like a thief. It is so subtle that the skittish mind, here the mind is being compared to a deer that bolts at the slightest hint of any kind of suggestion. Moond liye darwaje, the doors of perception are shut, meaning the mind is turning inward. Bajiyale anhad baje, and then the unstruck melody. So the Guru guides the mind to a subtle inner opening. This is not off the senses, it transcends the senses. In other words, your attention is so one-pointed that nothing escapes that attention. It's so focused. And no, not even a sliver of that attention is leaking out, because the mind has withdrawn from external noise. So when the scattered mind is thus relieved of this extrasensory load, that's what it really is, its attention narrows to a channel called the mori here, the hole. And that produces a self-generated tonal phenomenon. It's a sound, tonal. In other words, the resonance of awareness, which is always present, is born within. Kumbh kamal jal parya, the lotus, when it is filled with water, yields like a cup, like a vessel. Jal meteya uba karya, when that water is taken out, it becomes upright. Kaho Kabir, says Kabir, Jan Janaya, when the servant mind understands, Jo Janaya, To Man Manaya, when the mind understands, then it yields. So here the metaphor of a lotus sagging under water points to a mind filled with the water of cravings, opinions, and self-importance. It's the load it carries. Drain the water and the lotus naturally regains its upright posture. So self-realization is not an added thing. It's not an added ornament. It is in fact a removal, metya, of excessive grasping. So when understood in this light, the mind stops resisting and accepts what the heart already knows. The mind is now freed of its own inner chatter, and that gives it intuitive insight into the nature of reality. So wisdom traditions have always privileged intuition over conceptual knowledge, because the idea is that it is well nigh impossible to conceive of reality beyond the senses. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.